Hello everybody, Adrian here live midday on the Gold Coast in Australia with the Life Mastery Show. So welcome, and it's great that you can join me. So I'm sure any moment now I see the numbers popping up on the screen here and be able to get into some conversation for the next 1 hour from midday till 1 p.m. So you can see the trees behind me, the gum tree. So I'm down near a golf course near Robina today. I've just been to a business breakfast meeting, so I'm at a friend's place on the veranda overlooking the Palmer Colonial golf course. The wind is blowing, it's a beautiful warm day, and I'm really pleased to be sharing this with you. So what I'd love to do if I can is just get a "yes Adrian, I can hear you, everything is clear" message. That really helps me. Otherwise if you can't hear me, it's not so good for me. So if I could just get somebody, maybe Triz or Teresa, Elizabeth, just to say, "Hey Adrian, all is loud and clear, we can hear you," that would be absolutely fantastic. And when you do that, what I'd like to say is, if you have a question for today, if you have something going on where you want to get on track and stay on track, then please do post the question and type it in here. And just remember, and just for the clarity, yes, thank you Elizabeth, really appreciate that. Just for clarity, remember, I'm not downloading from the perspective of doing any psychic medium work. This is about getting clear with the question and me giving some insights or some experienced answers to you to help you to get on track and stay on track with your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vocationally, in your relationships, or whatever is going on for you. And I will do whatever I can to bring some clarity for you. But the best way to do that is to get a clear question that's not generic but it's quite precise, because it helps me to give you a more precise answer. So let's have a look. So Triz, would love a reading for guidance. So Triz, yeah, once again, I'm not downloading, I'm not doing spiritual guidance today per se in terms of mediumship. What I'm doing is getting people to use their consciousness to bring their question into consciousness, because a part of the spiritual personal development growth is about clarity. So we work with courage, we work with clarity, and we work with that process of self-love, because they're the keys to moving forward with our personal and spiritual development. So love to do some sort of understanding on for you, Trace. So my question would be is, can you get specific on asking a question without me tuning into the psychic side? Because there's lots of people on the spiritual events directory doing the psychic work. I choose to do something a little bit different here, to mix up the show a little bit, to have something different. So so if there's a question where you're asking me to tune in to answer the question, I'm not going to do that from that perspective, but I'm going to read your question. Do I move in next year or so for a fresh start? So Teresa, in that, once again, it'll be, what's your vision? So rather than just, me going, yeah, you're going to move, you're not going to move because Spirit's told me, what I'm going to say to you is, have you done your visioning? Are you clear about what you want? Are you clear about what Triz wants? That will be my question for you. Have you got your vision board? Have you got your vision statement? Have you worked with a coach or a mentor like myself to get clear on what you actually want? So you get your vision. So how I work, I create a vision with my students and clients, and then we do the planning. Yep, and then we do the action steps to actually get there. So for instance, if you want to move to the Gold Coast, if you're not on the Gold Coast already, what's the vision? Where you want to live, how you want to live. Then the planned steps of how to get there, what you need to do in terms of moving, getting a job, getting organized, etc. And then the action steps to actually put all that into place. So I work with VPA, vision, then plan, then action. So I'm certainly able to help you with that, Trees. So the question, do I move next year? Well, if you focus on that and you want to, then yes, you will move. If you're not focused on it and you don't want to move, then the answer probably no, you don't. But you mentioned a fresh start there. Fresh starts are fantastic, but I would say start with your vision. And I'm really happy to help you with that. So anybody on the call today, if you want that complimentary session with me, adrianhanks.com, go and book in a free complimentary session with me, or PM me on Adrian Hanks on Facebook, and I will be in touch with you. I'm looking for what my life purpose is. That's a great question, Julie. That's my favorite question with all my students and all my clients, because you know what, Julie, you already know. You already know what your life purpose is. your soul, your spirit knows. So what we have to do, we have to work through a process of finding a way for you to actually speak that, to actually share that with somebody, to dig deep and really answer that question, because we all know what our life purpose is. We all know what our passion is, why we're here on the planet. It's just sometimes we get covered in the old story and we get covered in the fear or the doubt that keeps it suppressed, and that life purpose doesn't pop up. And as I shared before, I spent quite a lot of time in Africa, and the Sangomas, or the medicine men or women in South Africa or other parts of Africa, if you go to see them and say, I'm sick, they'll just say, are you following your life purpose? And if you're not, that's why you're sick. And I really adhere to that. I think a lot of people are carrying illness, sickness, and depressions and all those things simply because they haven't found the voice to speak what their life purpose is, and find that life purpose and then live the life purpose. Like, I'm totally in my life purpose. I'm here to help to bring consciousness to humanity and to the planet, and I do that every single day for myself, for my students, for my clients, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, in relationship, and all the other areas. So Julie, very happy to work with you to find that life purpose, because I know you already know. It's just a matter of how do we tease it out of you for you to speak it, and then of course how do we help you to live that and work with it. So we vision it, we plan it, and then we put in the action steps so you're actually living your purpose. So sounds easy, I know, coming out of my mouth, but we can actually do that for you. When will my court case be? Rosie, once again, no, I'm not opening up to that spiritual answers. I want to be clear and precise about the answers and questions. So when will my court case be? It depends when it's set, depends when you're ready, depends when the legal fraternity put it ready for you. That's pretty easy. I mean, it's not up to spirit to decide that. That's up to the legal fraternity to put your court case there, and then the case will be, what are you going to do in that court case for yourself? How do you know what that is? Julie, I work through a process of finding out what that mission is for you, what that vision is in terms of your life purpose, and usually it's about what you love doing. You know, if you could wave a magic wand, I do have one in my studio at home, and wave that magic wand and say, now, what would you do tomorrow for you, for your community, for humanity as your life purpose? What would you do? And it can be quite generic to start with. It could be, I want to be, like I worked with somebody a few weeks ago, a man, we spent some time together, 45 minutes, and we got from him, his statement was, I want to be a spiritual teacher. So we have the vision, and now if he's open to it, he'll come with me and do the planning, and then we'll do the action steps so he can actually put himself out as a spiritual teacher. He will know what he's teaching, how he's teaching, who he's teaching to, but he has to do, you know, the vision's okay, but then we have to do the planning and the action. And even people who find the vision of what they're doing don't follow through to actually become that thing that they want to do. The fear and the doubt step in, and the lack of self-love steps in. And seriously, if you don't get the coaching, if you don't get the mentoring, if you don't do the mindset work and the subconscious work, then it's really hard to live one's dream, because the old demons, the old stories, the old saboteurs get in the way so much. So there's a real combination of mentoring and coaching, and for me the psychotherapeutic work, and I'm a psychotherapist, so I help people in that as well, to break through those old habits, old stories and old belief systems to become what they want to become. Just name it, to do it, and to work in it. So that's how we do that, Julie. Elizabeth, I've been trying to manifest a business idea, but I'm stuck. Okay, Elizabeth, so my question to you is, when you try to manifest that, do you do that in terms of meditation? And do you do a creative meditation? Like being open in meditation, and you made me to try it 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 times, have a process for yourself. And to give you an example, Elizabeth, I was down in Byron Bay 3 weeks ago, sitting on the beach of Belongil. I opened myself up to creative meditation. It's a particular meditation technique where you open your mind to creative influence. And I had a stick in the sand, and I downloaded a game. Now, I've been working on that game for the last, probably actually it was 4 weeks ago. Been working on that game for 4 weeks. We've been test running it, been playing the game, we've been writing the rule book, finding out some of the things in the game where we've had to find ways through a few blockages where it wasn't flowing. Now that game is ready to make and manufacture and go to market. So I have the vision, I've done some planning around it, Now I'm in action stage of getting it copyrighted or patented for the game, and then I'll either got to decide to make it myself or get somebody to make it or take it to a games place. So if you open up to manifestation in terms of meditation, you can do it, or you can work with a mastermind group. I currently run a mastermind group where we open up to manifestation and business ideas. But once again, Elizabeth, if you want to work one-on-one with me and do something with me, go to my website, adrianhanks.com. You can jump on and have a complimentary session with me. But I do also, for everybody here, have a 12-month life mastery program that's starting in 3 weeks' time that you're welcome to apply to join. And that's a whole 12 months working with me. And I can guarantee if you do that, you will absolutely have your life vision, you'll have your purpose, you'll have your manifestation businesses, you'll have your business up and running, your life will be a bit more on track, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all those areas. Because when you commit to 12 months, you're going to get results. So anybody here right now who's been stuck for a while, or looking for that coach mentor perspective, I'm suggesting 12 months is a great time, because you can do your business plan, your life plan, your daily routines, put it all in a process, and you step out the other side in such a different, powerful place. So Elizabeth, yep, I know you're stuck, but find a way to do it. Either come and do a session with me, and I can teach you that manifestation process, or give it a go for yourself. Trace, yes, not yet need to sort my, and still I have area I want to move for my health and movement. Yep, so yeah, it's making a decision of where you want to be, Trace, and that's that vision process. You really have to work it out. I tried to do a free reading, I couldn't access it. Okay, I will check that out, Trees. Thank you for that. If it's on my website, if it's not there, it's pretty much on. If you go to the top of my website, I go to more and click down one button. It says book a session with Adrian, or I think it's on my services page. But if you get stuck, just PM me, Adrian Hanks, on Facebook, or send me a message on my website, and I will get back to you and we're booking a session. So, Elizabeth, I agree. If you're nauseous every day, and I know I'm no longer in my job. Yeah, so if you're feeling nauseous, if it's time to move on, Elizabeth, then it's time to seek some support to move on through that process and get clear on what it is next, and how you're going to get the vision, the planning, and then the execution of that through the action stage to actually move on. So, well done. I'm not ready to move yet. In a year or so, I've done a lot work in-house. Yeah, so Therese, look, the reality is if you're not ready, you won't move, but you will move when you're ready. So it's about you setting the time for that movement. Rosie, I'm extremely ready. Well done. I love people who are ready. They're absolutely great to work with people who are ready, because it means they're ready to buzz and grow and move on. So fantastic, Rosie. Trees, I would like to learn how to read tarot cards. Any advice? Yeah, find a person who's teaching tarot card reading. There's some great tarot card readers out there. And if there's anybody on here right now who's a tarot reader that can teach trees, please do contact her and connect up. There are a few. If not, contact Sarah Watkins on the Spiritual Events Directory, and I'm sure that Sarah can point you in the direction to get somebody to teach you how to read the tarot cards, because tarot cards can be absolutely fantastic as a way to open up the process to get some deeper understanding of where one wants to go. So Trees, yeah, you can put anybody on here who knows, please contact Trees directly. If not, check out with Sarah Watkins. You can send her a message on the Spiritual Events Directory, and I'm sure she will lock you in with somebody. I'm looking after my adult kids and granddaughter. I can't leave them. Yeah, so Trees, it's up to you now to make that decision of when and how and where and when, and you can put that on your vision board, your vision statement, to start creating who, what, why, where, when, and how. That's what I usually work with, to start to creating that for yourself. Yep. So excuse me, I'm just going to get a drink of water. Pretty thirsty work down here on the Gold Coast this morning. Good to hydrate. So just on that, I just want to speak a little bit about meditation. It's a really important part of personal and spiritual growth from my perspective. I think it's one of the most powerful tools we can have. And I'm quite surprised the amount of people who I know are in the personal spiritual development field role, as a teacher or just as a student, how many people don't do regular meditation, who struggle with meditation, who haven't got a daily routine in meditation. And I'd say, of all the things one can do, finding one or two good meditation practices to do every single day is an absolute must. It clears the mind, it clears away anxiety, it helps with the breathing, it helps with relaxation, it helps with creativity, it helps to connect higher to spiritual realms. And in that meditative space, it's just a great place to go to. So if you're not meditating yet, and you'd like to, there is actually a 1 hour meditation video on Adrian Hank's Facebook page that you can go to, and I just keep reloading it and you can watch it on there. I think it's had a couple of hundred people watch it already. That was just a recorded meditation video for 1 hour, and it gives about 5 different meditation techniques, so you can do that. Also, if you want some one-on-one coaching on meditation, I am happy to do that. And also, of course, when I do my live programs, I teach people to meditate. Even if people are meditating already, we just go to another deeper level of that. I've been meditating myself for over 20 years. I've done meditation teacher training and love to help people in the meditative space. So I've started free meditation course every second Sunday. Yes, I need meditation in my life. Absolutely, Trace. I think it's a few things on the planet I think that would be absolutely brilliant. If everybody meditated, if everybody had some body work and some psychotherapy work and some coaching and mentoring work every week or two, the planet would be a very different place. But unfortunately, not enough people go into that space to get their coach, their mentor, their therapists, or do their meditation, and we stay in conflict with each other. We stay in anxiety, we stay in small self rather than growing into big self. So there's some tools that I think are essential in the personal and spiritual development space that are not well utilized. And my job as that mentor, as that coach, and even here on the show here, is to encourage and inspire people to seek those resources and tools and then to actually use them. Because if I can get people to seek the tools and resources and use them, I know people's lives will change. And I have a rucksack full of tools and resources to help people in their lives to get on track and stay on track and actually become more than. Because it's all about growing as human beings. Can we grow? Yes, we can, but we often need tools and resources to grow. So anybody else with any questions, remember, keep your questions precise and clear if you can. Try not to be too generic, and it can be about your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, relationship, social, vocational, any area of your life right now where you need some clarity, where you have a question, then I can certainly try to give you some insight or some answers to help you to go forward. And we can do it publicly here, but also, of course, I can help you privately if you book in for a session. Now, somebody did say they did try my website to book in for a session. Go to adrianhanks.com, go to the More page, click down one link, I think it is, and it says book in a session with Adrian, and I'm pretty sure you can still book in for next week. But if you can't, and it's come to an end, which it may have done, I don't think it has, it's automated, then do please send me a message from my website or PM me in Adrian Hanks on Facebook, so you can do that. So some of you might be a little bit new, so maybe a little bit of a sharing until I'm ready for the next question. Just a little bit of a background for me, just to connect and be with you. So I've just turned 56 just a couple of weeks ago, and so I'm into a new Saturn return, second time round. I'm into a new 7-year cycle. What else can I tell you? I am in my second marriage of 15 years now, my second marriage. We've got a family of 6 blended children. They're all adults now, from 19 to 31. Got 5 grandchildren, and I've got 2 beautiful goddaughters who are in their late teens as well. So a great family connection, a great community, and I just love working with people. And as I said before, I've been doing psychotherapy for 20 years and coaching and mentoring for about the same time as well. And I love to work with people one-on-one, love to do group work, I love to do my public speaking and sharing from the stage, sharing in group work, and also have my online programs that I work with people with too. So love that space, love to help people to break through and just get more out of life. So I'm just going to jump down on my screen from Annette. In so much pain, it's my back, knee or foot. Is it my back, knee or foot? So Annette, look, So where are you feeling the pain? Because wherever you feel the pain, is the pain in your leg? Is it in your back? Is it in your knee? Where are you feeling the pain? And what I always say about physical pain, physical illness, there is always an emotional attachment. And we can go and do something around the physical pain. We can go and get a massage, or we can get stitched up, or we can go and get some cream to rub in, or whatever we do, or some ointment. But if we don't deal with the emotional pain, the emotional story, oftentimes that keeps coming back. And I'll give you a little story, and Nat, I'll answer your question in a minute. I'm just going to tell a quick story here for Annette to give some context to this. About 4 years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to a run in Brisbane called D2D, is Darkness to Daylight Run, and it's running to bring awareness for family and domestic violence. And the first year I did it, I just walked a couple of kilometers. The second year I did like a little run, and then I put myself up to do the 10k run. And about 3 months out from it, I got this absolute sudden pain in my left knee. It was absolutely really excruciating pain every time I run. And I thought, right, there's something going on here. There's a blockage, there's a saboteur at play, because I had a fear of running, because I didn't want to let people down. I didn't think I'd make the 10k run and I'd collapse, and I'd look like a fool, and my friend who runs 110, blah blah blah. So I had this old story going about not being good enough and letting people down. And I actually went and got my knee x-rayed. I went to see a specialist, and that's a whole other story, but I went to see the specialist, got an x-ray, and there was a floating piece of grit or bone on my kneecap. And every time I ran and it got caught in my knee, it was excruciating, really bad. So I thought, right, I don't want to go and get a knee op. I'm going to work on it. So I worked on it energetically, did some psychotherapy work with my beautiful wife Arlene, who's a therapist and a healer, and we cleared the blockages energetically about me not feeling good and letting people down, etc. And I started doing some gentle jogging, and I started doing 1k and 2k and 3k and 4k. I got up to about 5k, and the pain absolutely totally disappeared. Totally. That little bit of floating grit or gristle that I could feel under my finger on my knee has totally gone, with no surgery. Didn't have to go and get it taken out. It's just gone. So after about 3 months, it was totally gone. Now, the year after that, I did a 10k run, and then I did another 10, and then this year I've done the same run, and I did 23k's. So this year in May I ran 23 kilometers in that race, and my knees are now absolutely fine. So the emotional component to that is really important to get into. So my question for you is, where are you feeling the pain? And then you can do some work about going into that pain. I'd say go and draw the pain, move the pain, do some body work around it, find out what the emotion is behind it, and get clear on where that pain is and why it's in a particular place in your body. And there's certain points in the body where it's quite often, in the gut it's usually around fear, in the back it's about support, in the knees it's about moving forward. So there's a few generic things, but it's good to be a bit less generic and get to the core issue of why we've got the pain. So I hope that story helps a little bit to give you an idea that you can get rid of physical things without surgery, just by going into the emotional as well. So Nat, can you give me some guidance on work? I recently lost my job and I'm looking for a new career. Is this right for me? Nat, I would say to you, once again, I'm not downloading from a spiritual psychic perspective. I want you to get clear about your vision. And my question to you, Nat, would be, what do you want to do? What do you absolutely want to do in terms of your job vocation, spiritual journey, purpose? Now, if you're not in a job now, this is the blank slate. If you've got a blank canvas, a blank slate to work on, that's an absolutely amazing place. I love working with clients when they walk into my studio and say, I've got a blank canvas here, I don't know where I'm going. I say, fantastic, let's fill that canvas. Let's get your vision, let's do the planning, let's put things into action so you can start your own business. It may mean that you need to go and do some study of some sort. You might need to come and do a business plan with me or something like that to get it going. You might need to go and get some a certificate to do something, or you might be already qualified. But if you're in that space right now, like I'm saying, what do you want to do? Like, let's wave that magic wand and get you to speak, because that's the empowering, when you speak and it comes from you and you say what you want to do, rather than me saying, well, I reckon you should go and be a therapist in Bowen technique. I don't know what you want. I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to try. But for you, you know what you want. So, work to that. What do you actually want to do? And it might be fearful, you might be scared. You might say, I want to be the Prime Minister of Australia. It might be really scary, but you know what? If you want it enough, you can work to get it. So that'd be the thing. Vision it, get clear on it, work on the subconscious mind, work on the saboteurs, work on the old story, work on that aspect of your being that won't let you go there. We've all got them, myself included, and I'm constantly working on my saboteurs. And get clear on what it is you want to do. Have you got a purpose? Have you got a vocation? Have you got something you want to do on the planet? Because you can do it. May take some time, may take some grunt work, may take some battles with the old self and the old story, but I'll tell you what, Nat, it can be done. Work with people all the time who get to doing what they want to do. So, get paid for what you love doing well. I just did a job in Byron Bay on Tuesday. I got a phone call. Somebody's they've been on the property for quite a few years, and they want to convert it into organic biodynamic farm, growing vegetables and herbs and flowers. And I went down there to do some consultation work, which is what I do. It's one of my areas of expertise, and I love doing that work. I get paid to walk around a property advising people on what to grow, how to grow, where to grow, and how to create a beautiful environment to sell produce to the locals. And I get paid for that. I can't think of anything better than being in the soil, being on the land, and getting paid. It's an absolute joy to be able to do that. I get paid for helping people with their financial journey through Skyway Invest Group, is what I'm in as well. It's one of my other hats I wear, one of my other streams of income. And I get paid to help people to enrich their lives financially. I get paid to help people clear their blockages in their mind, to create business plans. And I love doing that. I'm passionate about it. So let's find that for you. Nat, that would be my answer to that. Nat, all those place and back surgery 15 years ago left me with nerve damage to right leg, just waiting for my results. So a lot of the pain, Annette, no, seriously, pain is bad. I pulled L5 in my spine many years ago. I damaged L5, lower back, and I was in quite a lot of considerable pain. I was off work for a while trying to run a farm and a bakery, etc. etc. And once again, I went and did the clearing of the mind with some psychotherapeutic work to find out what was behind the original injury, why I was out of balance, why I had the accident from a karmic perspective, if you like, and it helped to ease the pain. So when we do the psychotherapeutic energetic work to help clear that, it relieves the pain. But you can do, have you tried acupuncture? Highly, seriously, acupuncture, energy frequency cards, meditation, trigger point massage, Korean acupuncture massage. There's quite a few things you can do to help that. The nerve damage. What are you doing to repair the nerves? Are you getting some energy healing in that? So what I'd be saying is sitting down, give me a call. Let's have a session together on that, and let's get a clear plan for you, so that you're on top of it. Because sadly, what happens with us is we put up with the pain, rather than finding the right person or the right medicine or the right thing to help us relieve the pain. We live in the pain because sometimes we are in secondary gain story by having the pain. We get some attention, or what do we get? And we usually, all of us have some aspect of that. But let's get the best vision, the best plan, and the best action for you in that to stop some of that pain. The right healers, the right medicine, the right space, the right meditation, the right psychotherapeutic work. And it's a holistic plan. Not one thing is, the answer to everything. It's not coming from the head or the heart or the will. Just one of them generally doesn't work. Because we're holistic beings. We're not just a heart. We're not just a brain. We're not just a will. We're not just courage. We have to find the holistic package. There's a lot of people out there teaching, come from the mind, the mindset. They forget the heart. There's other people working in the heart space. They forget the mind. There's other people who's about, drive, will. They're forgetting the heart and the mind. For me, it's about the thinking, the feeling, and the willing, putting it as a holistic package. So let's do that for you. Annette, please contact me and let's do something. Yep, Nat, absolutely. Hopefully that's what I do bring some insights, some guidance, some support for you. That's what I'm actually here for you on the show. And of course the show is not the same without you. I'd be sitting here all by myself. And I want you to know that when you ask a question, and this is time tested, When you ask a question, there will be somebody else listening in now or listening to the recording who has the same question but is maybe a bit too shy or embarrassed, to ask it. So when you ask a question, seriously, you're not asking it on behalf of yourself, you're asking it on the behalf of at least one other person. So I want to acknowledge when you do ask a question, thank you for the courage and the vulnerability, because it takes that sometimes, that you're actually asking it for more than yourself. Energetically, that's just what happens. You know that if you go and sit in a circle and somebody asks a question, you might go, oh, that was my question too. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people feel the same. You know, my mastermind partner Barry said he went to a meeting last week, and he was in the States, and he went to a meeting with Esther. You might know Esther Hicks from Esther and Jerry from Abraham. While Barry was lucky enough to be in a room with a couple of hundred people. He had 8 questions to ask. He didn't get invited onto the hot seat because vibrationally somebody else was there to answer the question for more people, but all 8 questions were answered. So energetically it happens. So yeah, thank you for those that are asking questions, because you actually ask the question for others too when you're in that space. So let me just get another drink. Thirsty work talking, and I can talk all day long. So I hope this is a bit inspiring for you. I hope you're getting something. It's getting some insights, getting some thoughts, challenging yourself to grow. Challenge yourself. And I'm going to tell my favourite story. For some of you, my on here with me, and you've heard the story before. Sometimes repetitive stories are just great anyway, because it's sort of locked in and you can tell the story again. But I want you to imagine, for a moment, you're sitting on a park bench, or you're sitting like Adrian here with a bit of a golf club in front of you. As a big area, and you hear a buzz in the sky, bzzz, and you see this spaceship coming down, and it lands, and out of the spaceship come these little aliens, beep, 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 beep. And their mission is to be on Earth to collect some human beings to take back to their planet to do some research on. So they're friendly, they're really kind, but they're looking for 100 human beings at random that they're going to take. Hi Pete. They're going to take 100 human beings at random from that place they land. They're going to put out and grab 100 people in a friendly way and invite them on the spaceship to go back to their planet, so they can work on them physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and get to know what a human being is. And my question to you is, and I ask this for myself, if I'm taken to that planet with those aliens to be a representative of this planet, and they analyze me, am I the best human being I can be to be a representative of the human race? Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and all those other aspects. How would I rank if I was tested? Physically, am I in a good physical human being space? Am I a good weight? Have I got a good constitution? Am I fit? Have I got a good diet? Am I drinking the right water? All those things. Am I a good representative for humanity physically? And emotionally, how do I handle my emotions with other human beings and on the planet? And mentally, how am I using my mental faculties as a human being? Am I using as much as I can? And spiritually, am I spiritually in tune on the planet? Am I doing the things on the planet spiritually to help? How do I measure up? So I want you to ask the question, if you were taken on that spaceship to a planet for 3 or 4 weeks in a vacation and were analysed and had tests, would you be in that 80-20 or 90-10 principle on all those? That's my question to you, because that's what this work is all about. It's about being more than, it's being better than, it's about growth, it's about expansion, it's about becoming a better human being so that we can be better for ourselves, for our family, for our community. And we muck up, I muck up, I'm not perfect, I have my moments when I'm an absolute nong. I get things really wrong sometimes. But you know what? I try. And I try to better myself, and I eat well, and I exercise well, and I do my meditation, my yoga. I use my mind, I write books, I do scripting, I do my study. I am on a spiritual path, I've been for over 25 years, same spiritual path. I use my mental capacity, even here, this hour. I'm using that mental faculty, I'm using that spiritual faculty, I'm using my emotional faculties, I'm using my physicality to be here. So I'm using it every single day to the best of my ability, but I want to do more each day. So would I be a good representation for humanity if I was on that spaceship? I'd like to believe that I would be in that 80-20 or 90-10 principle, yes. And sometimes even speaking that is what it takes to be able to speak it with some confidence, knowing that that's where I am. Because when we know, it's about, oh man, know thyself. We have to know ourselves, have that confidence. Because that's part of human growth too. The emotional confidence, the spiritual confidence. Yeah. So Annette, yep, they would probably fly away with you. I'd love to be on there. In fact, this is a true story. Share with you. I was driving back from Brisbane to Byron Bay with my daughter probably about 7-8 years ago. She was in her early teens. We're driving down this back road into Byron Bay through Myocum, and we saw all these lights flashing over a paddock. We stopped the van. I was at a big dilly sort of van then. Pulled over, went down the windows, and there were a big set of lights glowing in the paddock, and I'm sure it was some thing. I can't say whether it was from this earthly plane or another, whether it was military or non-military or a visitation. And I said to my daughter, if they come to the van, do we get in the spaceship and go with them? And she looked at me and I said, Dad, yes, let's go. And then woof, the lights were gone again, and we didn't get that opportunity to get in that, whatever that was. It was a UFO, it was an unidentified flying object, but whether it was from Pleiades or some other constellation or some planet, I don't know. But it was quite a moment of would I go? And absolutely I'd be going. Whether I'd be chosen or not, I hope so, and I hope I would be a good representative for mankind in that space. So trees, third eye is what I'm interested in learning. Aha! Okay, great question, trees. So what I say to people in terms of the third eye, it's a very, very, very powerful energy point. And if you like, for the group here, for the next couple of minutes, let me just check my time. Okay, we've got plenty of time. It's 12:37, so we've got 20 minutes or so here. What I'm going to do for those here is just a quick third eye meditation for you to tune into the third eye. Because the third eye is the sixth chakra. So if you think from the base chakra down all the way up, what I'd like to do if I'm doing teaching meditation in terms of the chakra meditation, I like to start on the base and work up, and then we get to the third eye, then we get to the crown, and then if we want to do the spiritual connection, we can. But right now, just because the question's been asked about the third eye, let's just jump into the sixth chakra, into the third eye. Yep, so just closing your eyes for a moment if you choose to, or a nice soft eye meditation. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Nice soft breath. And a great way to tune into your third eye is to what I call go cross-eyed backwards. So roll your eyes back in your eye sockets and look back into your third eye with your physical eyes. So stare up into your third eye with your eyes. It'll probably go a lot darker for you. You may even see some whirling of colours, reds and greens and blues and purples. That's pretty normal. And then keep that focus right on that third eye. It may even start getting painful. If it does, just ease off a little bit, just soften off. You don't want to be in pain. If it's too intense, just breathe and open your eyes again. Because it can become quite intense. We're just focusing on that third eye region, on the forehead, above the eyes, with your real eyes, with your physical eyes, looking backwards. And just breathing into that space. And then to go a little bit deeper, just pinpoint one area on that forehead, on your third eye, one area, maybe the size of a pea, and focus in on that. Focus in on that one little area, size of a pea, on your forehead. If it gets too intense, back it off. Just breathing into it. Soft breathing. That's good. Keeping your focus on the third eye. If you deviate, just bring yourself back. And then if you want to make it a little bit more intense, if you want more focus, either stick your finger in a bit of water or just lick it on your tongue, and then put a dot on that very spot with water or a bit of spit, and then focus again. It might become really intense, cold, penetrating, might even be hot, and it heightens the experience. It might even feel like it's moving around. And focus in on that with your physical eyes, with your mind, with your breathing. Nice soft breathing. And then allowing that to open a little bit. And when you're ready, just coming back to the screen, opening your eyes. You might want to squeeze your hands and move your feet. So that's how to connect to the third eye. And then of course I won't do it here, but because you need to be prepared for the work and take some preparation. I say spiritual work and personal development work is 90% preparation, and then 10% actually then getting into it and then expanding that. So it's preparation, preparation, preparation. That can take days, months, weeks, months, years, or sometimes even decades to get to that place of preparation so you're ready. But when you're ready for the third eye meditation, you can then start to open and expand the third eye, so you can start connecting and bringing through and expanding and sharing wisdom. But it's a preparation stage, and that's a good preparation to get used to being in that third eye space, because you will start to see swirls and colours and have to get used to those. And that's unfortunately what people do in that space if they're not prepared. They start to get into that illusion, and they see the whirling masses and they see the colours, and they might see some things that they think are spirits and voices and blah blah. And what happens is people confuse that for the spiritual world and think they're having a spiritual experience, and it's not. It's the subconscious mind, or it's what we call the astral soul world, and it's the first levels, and it's usually swirly and a bit confusing, and there's not much connection. And sadly, a lot of people connect into there and say, well, I'm experiencing, angels and blah 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 and spirits, and unless you've actually gone through the portal of what we call the guardians to get into the spiritual world, it's not the spiritual world. There's a lot of confusion. And for a lot of people, if they don't have a spiritual teacher to help them to transcend through into the spiritual world, to move through, to break through, to understand it and get some guidance, they get really lost and confused and actually live in that illusionary world of the astral and psychotherapeutic or para space in the mind, and it's not really the spiritual world. There's a lot of, unfortunately, confusion around that. So it's about seeking out the spiritual teacher to teach you how to do that. And that's a long-term process. Usually to get to that level is not just an overnight weekend workshop. It's months and months, if not years and years and years of work to get to that space where you're able to open up, let the ego go and be connected. So I just want to be clear about that. That little bit of thing I did there was not to direct you into your angels or archangels. That's months or months or even years of serious work. Because you imagine meeting an archangel, face on, the energy of that. That'd be like going scuba diving at 30 meters without any lessons, without even learning how to breathe the oxygen. Nobody would do that. That's just crazy. You might learn to paddle in the water and then snorkel, and then a bit of deep snorkeling. But then that scuba diving, going down deep, that takes practice, training with a teacher, to get a certificate almost, and then you can do it. And spiritual work is the same. Spiritual isn't just going jumping in and connecting to archangels. It'll blow your circuits. And seriously, the psych units are full of people who've had spiritual experiences that's blown their circuits because they've gone in too fast, too quick with drugs or with the wrong people. So, just I want to, that wasn't a connect to spirit experience, that meditation. You may have experienced something, but rarely is it a spiritual connection. It's getting you used to working in the chakra system. Chakra system is a slightly out of the body system. It's not, it's not an archangel experience. It's a chakra experience. So I just want some clarity around that, because I don't want to be somebody saying, oh, Adrian taught us how to do a spiritual journey to connect through the third eye. I didn't. I showed you how to connect to the third eye, not to spirit. I haven't taken you through the gateways. So just some clarity, and also, for me to know that you're doing something in a responsible, safe way as well. I like to cover my butt. I like to cover my ass, because there's a lot of people that are taking people on trips too fast, too soon, and it's actually detrimental to people's growth from my perspective. Yep. So just clear on that. Can hear the beautiful trees blowing in the background. Thank you. That was amazing. Yeah, pleasure, Alison. Yes, the trees are swaying beautifully in the background. There is a lot of smoke about up in the hills behind me. You might see that the sky is quite smoky. There, the fires are still burning. Thankfully, we did get some rain yesterday that helped to ease those fires, and I hear by the weekend, hopefully they will be contained and some of those firefighters can have the weekend off. I'm hoping that'll happen. The wind is pretty strong here. I hope it is easing. So yeah, the wind is blowing. Some beautiful spirit beings blowing through those trees, and it is pretty amazing. Yeah, so thank you, Alison. So look, please do, anybody who wants to connect, come and have that conversation with me. Come and do some connecting work. If you haven't got a mentor teacher at the moment, I'm really happy to have a conversation with you about becoming that mentor teacher coach with you. If it's not me, I can recommend others to you. If you're not connected with me, that's okay. Not everybody loves Adrian. I've had to get used to that, but it's pretty hard. But I'm getting used to that. I'm not there for everybody, but for those that I am, love to work with you. And if I'm not, I might be too in your face, or too seemingly aggressive, or too direct for you, or you don't like my bald head or my eyelashes or whatever it is, that's absolutely fine. But I can refer you to other people who I absolutely trust in the personal spiritual development field. And it might be you're looking for somebody who's like here or here or here, or have a different personality or different teachings, and I'm really happy to help you find that right person. If it's me, great. If it's not, great. But I would say please, please, please get a teacher, get a mentor, get a coach. Because if you don't, it's easy to get lost. Seriously, you'll get stuck at a juncture in your life where you just won't put yourself back or past that next level of growth. I know that for myself. I've got my own coaches, my own healers, my own teachers, my own mastermind partner, and without them I would be stuck, because they push me through, they inspire me, they push me, they encourage me, they challenge me in my growth every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, because I can't do it by myself. Those days are, well, they weren't even there in the beginning. People don't do this work by themselves. It's quite delusional to think we can do it, because we're at a point where the subconscious mind will just get us into some belief system. We start to believing there's not actually a truth. We think we're somewhere where we're not, and then sadly that's where the delusion comes in. And there's plenty of people out there teaching that delusional work where they think they're somewhere and they're not, and it's quite sad for their students, for their clients, and actually for them, because they're quite stuck in their own journey. So yeah, I like to support people in a truthful manner where they're breaking through, where they're getting the teaching, they're getting support, they're getting the mentoring, just like the scuba diver teacher, So please go and seek that out, and if I can support you to do that, please do that, because this is all about life mastery, personal development, spiritual development, and even business development and social development and relationship development and vocational development. Yep, I will Google third eye support. Yep, so Google is a search engine, remember? So you'll be sent to 1 million different places. So get specific on what are you actually looking for. What are you looking for? Do you know what the third eye represents, for instance? Do you know where it sits in the chakra system? Because if you're just working on the third eye without the other parts of the other chakra system, it's a bit like having a dinner plate with just one thing on the plate without a full meal. Because working on the third eye on its own is not enough. You need to understand the chakra system to be able to tune into the third eye system, because what I did just now was quite specific there, but without the support of the other 5 chakras below it and the support of the above chakra above that, the 7th chakra, it'll be out of tune, out of place, and you won't be actually tuning into anything but a concept. So there's some real, I want to learn all. So if you want to learn all trees, what I'll be saying to you and anybody else listening in is, this is going to take time. So be prepared to do years of work. If you really want to understand the chakra system and work with it, It's not something you learn in a weekend. It's not something you learn in a few weeks or even a few months. So if you're prepared to do the hard yakka, to do the hard work, then you can become a master of something and to have an understanding of something. And I say, the way to know you've understood something is to speak about it, write about it, or teach about it. I'll write a book about it, so you're an authority, speak about it as an authority, or teach about it as an authority, and then you know your stuff. And until then, we're still a student. I mean, we're always students. I'm still a student, but you can be a student teacher as well. You can teach something by writing, teaching, or writing. Yeah, speaking. But then that's when you know you've actually understand it. So to speak about, like I did about the third eye, I'm knowledgeable about it because I've been studying it for over 20 years. So I can share that with experience and with some knowledge. So be prepared to do the hard work. Go and find a teacher or a pathway that's going to start 101 teaching and stay on that same path for many years. Because what I share with people is, I'm prepared at my age to learn it. Look, we can learn at any age. Any age. Absolutely. I've had students and people I've worked with in their 80s who are learning something new. In fact, we can learn something new every single day. Every day. So age has got nothing to do with it. It's about our soul learning. It's about our spiritual learning. And that's ageless. That doesn't matter. People who say, oh, I'm too old to learn, it's actually nonsense. We can learn to do anything at any age. Anything. Just different levels maybe. But what I like to share with you is, and what I say to people is, look, Teresa, why Google? Go and find a teacher. What's the point of doing Google? Google is a search engine. Maybe search for a teacher on Google. But if you search chakras, yeah, you can get some videos and you can watch them and you can get engaged and you can learn some things and you might read some books. Yeah, but I'd suggest you start with that. Read a book on the chakras and understand them. But if you want to work with them, get somebody to work with. Go and experience it as an experience rather than just a theory in your mind. Because books are still a theory until you practice. Online practice is still a practice, still a theory until you practice. Yep. So I'd say, Therese, you're early. You're 40s. I'm 56 and I'm still learning. 40s is you're a newcomer. That's new. That's 40. You still got another 50 years on the planet. So yeah, absolutely. 40 is a great time to learn. All that experience you've got. Yeah. So what I say is, if you go and do one thing for a couple of weeks and learn that, and then you go and learn something else for a couple of weeks and learn something else, you're always going to be an experience of a few weeks. But if you stay on the same path for years and years and years, you go down the rabbit hole and you learn at a deeper depth, a greater depth. If you scuba dive once, you learn something. If you do it for a year, you learn more. If you scuba dive for 5 years, you become a real expert. If you do it for 20 years, you become a master. And that's like spiritual development work, personal development work. The more you stick that one pathway, the more you learn, the more you go down the rabbit hole. So I'm a great advocate for staying on the path of one path for a very long time, rather than being like a weekend workshop, weekend workout junkie, for want of a better word. We just learn lots of little bits. And it's okay to have lots of little bits, but in the long term, it's not depth, it's breadth. And we can all have lots of breadth, but what about depth? And that comes from experience of the same. Sometimes that's repetition. I'm reading over and over again books. I'm doing meditations over and over. I'm going to lectures over and over. I'm listening to people over and over. I did 20 years ago because I'm on the next level of depth. I don't want width anymore, or breadth. So that's what I'd be saying about that, Therese. Go and find somewhere where you can, if you're interested in chakras, go and study chakras for the next 5 or 10 years of your life. Start somewhere and keep studying it. So, yep, all good. If I can help you out in any way, do connect with me. I've got some experience on chakras. Particularly, I do some chakra meditations with the didgeridoo. You can do the meditation like I did just now, but there's also other people there too that you can work with. You can do your chakra healing. There's many aspects of chakras, but learn it as a complete system. A complete system. Don't just focus on the one thing because it's part of a system. Yeah, that'll be what I'd be saying there for you. So I've got a few more minutes. Are any other questions on here for you? I hope I've given some support and insight and wisdom here today for you to, head you down that rabbit hole a little bit, to push you into doing more personal and spiritual development, because that's what this show is all about. It's about empowering you to get some more life mastery for you, so you can become a better version of yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and many other areas. What you can do if you want to is jump on my website, adrianhanks.com, and what you can do, you can go to the shop and you can download the free journal on there that can help you in this. It's got 10 life aspects that you work within the daily journal, and I suggest make the commitment to do that journal every day for 7 days. Every day for 7 days, commit to journaling and see what effect it has upon you. See how you can start to learn to use some journaling. So there's a freebie there. There's a couple of videos on there. There's a good one on boundaries and bullying on there. In one of the pages, I think it's on the media page. So just browse to the website, go into the more column, book him, have a look what I'm doing, if I can be support for you. If you're really serious about this work and you want to do a 12-month journey, I'll tell you what, if you want to do a 12-month journey and you're really serious, and if you fit the group, because there's an application process, because I want the synergy to be right for the group. If you feel like you can do a group work and have the right synergy and give as well as receive, and you want to do that, what I'll do for you today, if you contact me in the next 1 hour on my website by sending me a message or PM me in Facebook page Adrian Hanks. Yep, Adrian Hanks on Facebook, or go to my website and contact me in the next couple of hours. I'll do you a super deal to come onto that 12-month program. I'm not going to share what that is right now because it'll be different for everybody's needs, but if you want to be part of that, let's get it happening. Let's make it real for you. Let's make it affordable for you. Let's make it special for you, so that it gives you something woo to grab hold of. So let's do that. I'm very interested. My age, yes, I will search for a teacher. Thank you. I will look for your info. Yep, go and have a look, Therese and anybody else. AdrianHanks.com. Go on to Facebook, Adrian Hanks. There's also a page, Adrian Hanks Mentoring and Coaching on Facebook. But the website is the best place because it's got all my contacts on there. And if you get really stuck, contact Sarah Watkins, who is an absolute gem, and she will pass on information to me too. So she's contactable through this site, through the Spiritual Events Directory. And what an amazing job Sarah does. So I'm going to say a big cheers to Sarah for continuing to hold this platform so people like myself can come on and share insight and wisdom information for you to help you grow. So I really take my hat off to Sarah, and a big cheers to you for the great work. And I certainly look forward to doing this show continually each week, midday on Thursday. And I say it doesn't matter where I am on the planet. I've done shows from Abu Dhabi, from Belarus, from all over Australia, Sydney and Melbourne and Malini, and here on the Gold Coast. And in 2 weeks' time I will be in India, and then down to Goa, and I will be doing my midday shows from there. I think it'll be probably about 4 a.m. in the morning. I'll have to get up and do the show from India, but I'm committed. I've been getting up at 3 or 4 a.m. in other countries around Europe when I'm away, because I'm committed to doing this every single week at midday, and certainly will endeavour to keep doing that. If I join your course online for 12 months, come to you. So it's an online program, Therese, but if there's an invitation to New Zealand for a weekend course or something like that, and you want to be my coordinator, and you want to be part of that, and even get paid to be my coordinator in New Zealand, get a dozen people together for the weekend. We'll work out what it is we're going to teach, and I'm really happy to come across. I'm happy to do that anywhere in the world. If there's a group of people, I can fly across, teach for a weekend or even a week, do some module work, do some energy work, whatever it is that people are requiring. And if I have that skill, I'm really happy, and I love getting people to coordinate those workshops for me. So I fly in, walk in, do the work, walk out, and we have a bit of a joint venture there. So Therese, if that's you and you have the passion for that, let's do it. But if you want to join my 12-month online course, it is online, but there is a workshop component in Australia that's that you can come across to, but maybe I can come to New Zealand and do the one-day workshops there too. So I'm open to suggestion, I'm open to spirit guiding us to do something together. And I am aware that I am right on 1 o'clock right now. So I'm just going to reverse the camera. And it's 1 o'clock, the trees are blowing. It's time to say thank you and send blessings to you. I hope to connect with you. You know, if you want to take action, this is the moment to do it. And if you want to do something like the 12-month program, it's even a bigger reason to take action right now, and I'll make it super special for you. So take care, lots of love and blessings, and see you next week, if not before, on the midday show of the Life Mastery Show. See ya.